Welcome to What's Going On, the weekly podcast and videocast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of What's Going On. I'm Pastor Katie here at First United Methodist, and I'm glad you could join me for this episode. The last few episodes, I've really kind of taken a topic and dug deep a little bit on it, but we have so much happening in the life of the church that this episode is really going to be more about talking about all of those things, things that are coming up, things that you get to be a part of, special services, all of the above. And so, which is such a cool thing that we are at a place in our church where a lot of cool things are happening and a lot of cool things that we get to be a part of. And so I just want to celebrate that because it's pretty cool. Can I say that any more times? I don't know. We'll find out. So this Sunday is Palm Sunday. This is the beginning of Holy Week, which is one of the kind of most important parts of the Christian calendar. And it is when we celebrate Jesus entering into Jerusalem for the final time. Palm Sunday is named Palm Sunday for the palm branches that the people along the roads laid down on the road as a sign of honor as Jesus rode in on a donkey. We celebrate Palm Sunday in a big way here in our church. If you've been a part of us for a while, you maybe have been a part of our Easter extravaganza that we have on Palm Sunday. So not in the service, we have some special things happening. Our kids' bell choir will be sharing music. Our Jubilee bells will also be sharing music. Our kids are going to come back and also sing some songs for us. They will be processing the palms during one of our hymns. So like all of that is super exciting and fun and great to be a part of. We also, if you were part of the podcast last week, you saw that we have some new members that are going to be joining the church. We have 5 people that'll be joining the church on Sunday, 3 of them that will be there. So that's also what a blessing to have more and more people find our church and find a home here and find a community that they want to be a part of and belong to. And as I have done the visiting with these people, one of the comments has been how welcoming and warm the people of our church are and how they feel. And that's especially true for some of these are young people in their 20s, which is a demographic we don't have an overabundance of. So for them to come here and find something that speaks to them and is meaningful to them and that they want to plug in and they want to be a part, it is a blessing that I do not want us to miss. And I'm grateful for the paths that each of these young people have taken that brought them here to us at this time in their life. And so that is also happening on Sunday. Following the worship service is the Easter extravaganza. There will be a brunch down in Wesley Hall. That is free will offering. I'm still waiting to hear what that offering is going to in particular, but it will be for some sort of, it will have some sort of designation. That will be pancakes and fruit and some good things. And so that will be happening after worship. And then we also, the youth group has planned a lot of games and activities for the kids, including Easter egg hunt. And so if you have a kid who will be in worship, either to play bells or to sing or just to be in worship, go ahead and bring their Easter basket with them because they will go home on Sunday with plenty of treats and fun things. So lots of celebration and joy this Sunday. Tuesday night, I should say, will be Women's Night Out. They are going to be at the library doing the adult craft night at the library. And so if you would like to join them in that, you need to go to the library to sign up for that. I think it's a $5 charge and that covers the supplies. So that is what the Women's Night Out will be doing. It is on a different night than normal, and that is because Thursday is Maundy Thursday. And I said, I need all of you women at worship. So they moved it to Tuesday night. Wednesday night, we will not be having our regular Wednesday programming. This is a ritual and kind of a habit that I've gotten into over the years when we have Wednesday activities that on Holy Week, because we are asking you to be here on Thursday and Friday, to do 3 nights in a row would be a massive commitment. And so we take a break from the Wednesday night activities and we will see you on Thursday and Friday. Thursday is Maundy Thursday of Holy Week. Maundy is a Latin term, and it has to do with service and with the foot washing that Jesus does and the command to do that. So in that service, which is commemoration of the Last Supper and what we celebrate as Holy Communion, so we will have that as a part of that worship service, but it also will have an opportunity for foot washing. I will also, if it is something that you're not able to do, to take off your shoes for worship. I know that for some of you physically, that is just not where you are, and that's okay. I also will offer hand washing, but I would prefer that if you are able to do the foot washing, because sometimes we shy away from things that make us uncomfortable. But if we read the story from the Gospels, the foot washing wasn't comfortable for the disciples either. Peter at first was not going to let Jesus do it. He said, "You will never wash my feet," because at that time, foot washing was very much a cleansing thing, that their feet were disgusting. And it was like, I don't want Jesus to be anywhere near my grossness. That is beneath him, and I'm not going to let you do it. And Jesus says, "If you do not let me wash your feet, you will have no part of me." Peter then flips his coin and says, "Well, then wash everything." And Jesus is like, "Not necessary, just your feet." But how often that we shy away from being vulnerable in any sense. And I think foot washing is one of those ways where we can sort of, if we have the option, we'll opt out of feeling any sort of uncomfortableness. But I encourage you and invite you to lean into that. That even though the foot washing during the service is more of a ritual than anything, I'm not going to have soap up there. Um, it is still an opportunity of, it's symbolic of allowing Jesus to access even the parts of us that we don't want people to know about, right? So as I wash your feet as your pastor, again, think of it more as that outward sign is a symbol of an inward action of allowing Jesus into the parts of us that we would rather hide away. And saying, "I would like all of me to be a part of you. And I submit myself, all of me, to you." And so that is why I encourage you that, maybe make a plan ahead. I think the weather's supposed to be nice this week. It would be a great service to wear sandals. Just throwing that out there if that is a possibility for you. But that is part of that worship service. And so, just to give you a heads up, that service is Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We are also inviting the UCC Church to be a part of that service as well. And so please know that everyone is welcome. If you have friends that are part of churches that don't offer Maundy Thursday service, please know that you are welcome and encouraged to invite them to participate in worship with us. There's no pressure to come and to experience this. And it is my hope that all will do that. I really strongly believe that we should never skip from Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday without walking with Jesus through the week. So often we are tempted to avoid the hard things in life and just go from positive experience to positive experience, but that's really not how life works. And that's certainly not how Jesus, in the end of his life and his death and resurrection work. And it's through his death and his resurrection that we find and experience God's grace and love in a salvific way. But you cannot have a resurrection without death. And so I know that we've been kind of really focusing on the cross during the Lenten season, but that's been on purpose so that we really have a true appreciation of all that happened during those final moments of Jesus' life. Good Friday service will be at 7 p.m. as well, and we're going to have that service in the lounge upstairs behind the sanctuary. That is going to be an experiential service as well. There's going to be times of participation, but it is a very different sort of service lots of times of silence and experiential things. And so I look forward to having you there as well for that one. Um, that service is centered on the death of Jesus. And so you will hear scripture recounting his final moments. And then that service ends in silence. And we do that as a sign of respect and a sign of mourning. Because as we leave the church on Good Friday, we leave as a people um, who have not yet experienced the resurrection, right? We are walking through this story in that timeline. And then on Easter Sunday, you are welcome to worship here at 10 a.m. for Easter worship. And I'm so excited to get to spend that time with you as we explore the resurrection. And I have not written the sermon yet for that one, but I've been toying in my mind a lot about how we've been focusing the around the witnesses at the cross, that we might be looking a bit at the witnesses of the resurrection and experiencing the resurrection through their eyes. And so I think that's maybe where we're headed for Easter. And then I'm really excited about a sermon series we're going to be doing following Easter. I've got some cool things up my sleeve. I'm super excited about the children's messages for the next season. And so lots of good things coming up that way. My Tuesday lunch study, this coming Tuesday will be our final meeting before that will go on hiatus. Again, I want to remind you that I will be taking a renewal leave this summer, starting in June, that will run through the beginning of August. And so I will not be offering any summer classes. I also am at a point where I'm ready to take a little bit of a break. And so my Tuesday, we finished up Disciple this past Sunday. My Tuesday lunch study will wrap up their Reckless Love series that they've been doing. There's still going to be opportunities for you to engage in some small groups. Bibles and Brews continues on. The men's night out and women's night out will continue on. The Thursday morning men's Bible study will continue on. So there's different opportunities. And if there's something that you would like to see happen that's not happening, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It might mean that God is asking you to start something, to put yourself out there a little bit, because if you want it, someone else might want it too. And it might be a great way for you to get to know some of the people down the pew from you just a little bit better. Um, and so we have Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, and then the next kind of big thing we have happening, the first Sunday in May will be Confirmation Sunday. We have students who are finishing up their confirmation program, finishing up their confirmation projects, and they will be coming before the congregation on the first Sunday in May. I believe it's May 4th, because one of the students joked that they might show up with a Star Wars hairstyle, which I was in complete support of. So Sunday, May 4th is when we will have both communion and confirmation. The following Sunday, the 11th, that's Mother's Day. Just hint for those of you who might need to be reminded. We will also be recognizing volunteers that day and our graduating seniors. And so our graduating senior class for high school this year coming out of our church are just some of the most incredible kids I have ever had the opportunity to know. This is the first confirmation class that I got to teach here in Yankton. And so these kids will always hold a special place in my heart. And I'm so excited for them and for their next steps. But I am also a little bit grieving because I love all of them. And I wish I could keep all of them here always. But the world will be a better place wherever they find themselves and they land and plug into their schools and communities and jobs moving forward. And so we're going to honor and celebrate them on the 11th. And then we just have a few more Sundays before we really hit summer. The last big event prior to summer will be Vacation Bible School. The last few years, we've done Vacation Bible School in August as kind of a kickoff into the fall. We, in the last 2 years, have also been partnering our VBS program with other churches. We are continuing to do that. We are partnering with Trinity Lutheran, also known as the Burger King Lutheran Church, and UCC. And we're going to be holding VBS at Memorial Park once again. That worked so well for us last year. It was a little chilly on the first night, but it's a great neutral space for us. There's plenty of space and we have lots of fun. So that is going to be happening May 29th, 30th, and 31st, the evenings of the 29th and 30th, in the morning of the 31st. And then we will have worship, VBS Sunday worship, out at Memorial Park that Sunday at 10 a.m. For our whole church, along with anyone from the other two churches that would like to join us. And so I want you to mark that in your calendars as well so that you can plan accordingly to love and support the children of our church as they will share in what they learn from VBS, and we'll get to be a part of that. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited. And that will be my last worship service here in Yankton before I go on renewal leave. The following Sunday, which is June 8th, is Pentecost. So I do hope that you wear red. We're going to be doing something a little bit different, and this is due to the move of annual conference to end on Sunday rather than Saturday. This has been in the talks for a long time, this move, because annual conference normally would run Thursday morning through Saturday morning, most people having to arrive on Wednesday, travel on Wednesday. That meant for a lot of people taking multiple days off of work in order to attend annual conference, taking their vacation time to go to a meeting. And there have been many people that have done that and done that so faithfully, but it also has meant for a lot of churches that the laity that has come to annual conference to represent their church often is skewed to retirement age because they were the people that had the time to do it. And so as we look to the future and wanting to make sure we are including voices of every generation, the sessions committee was looking at options. And one of the options that we've seen across, I'm not part of the sessions committee, so when I say we, I mean them. One of the options that they've seen across the connection is this schedule for annual conference, which is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule, so that really if people need to travel, they're taking less time off of work, makes it more inclusive. Also, a lot of pastors, myself included, would go to annual conference and then come back and lead worship on Sunday, even if they might be a bit exhausted and not have as much time during that week to prepare for that service. And so this year, what they are doing instead is that the annual conference is encouraging all of the churches to watch the annual conference worship that Sunday morning. That Sunday morning's worship is going to be our ordination commissioning service. So it's got a really beautiful piece to it that I wish everybody saw more often rather than just those who attend annual conference. But it's going to be a worship service. They're going to live stream that service. It's being held at Mitchell First, downtown Mitchell First United Methodist, which is the first appointment I had in a church, was the associate there. And so it's a very full circle moment for me. But what we're going to do, I believe, is you can come to church here and we will live stream it here on the screen. If you want, you can stay home and watch it. I hope you still wear red for Pentecost, but we are still inviting the church to gather together and to worship together, but participate in the service that is happening in Mitchell. If you want, you can also take a little road trip to Mitchell that day and be there in person. It is a beautiful sanctuary, so that you are welcome to do that. Annual conference worship is open to everybody. You do not have to be a delegate in order to be there. I will be there. I actually get to have a part of that service this year as part of my role in the conference on the Board of Ordained Ministry. And I am super honored and humbled. And so you'll see me on that Sunday being a part of that worship service, but I will not be here in Yankton with you. And then immediately following annual conference is when I will take my renewal leave and I will be unavailable for work things. I might be available if you would like to have coffee, take me out to lunch, go kayaking, things like that. You might find that I have some time for those things, but I will not be available for church things. If there is anything that you need, the church office will be open this summer. Also, we have Pastor Carl Watkins and Joe Watkins on retainer for any pastoral emergencies or needs in that way. And then I have a really awesome lineup of people who will be preaching over the course of the summer. And it's a really nice range. So you're going to hear some different people, some different voices, some different experiences. And so I'm really excited about that. And I hope that that's a positive experience for everybody. And then I look forward to coming back in August. We might look at kicking off in the fall just a little bit later to give me some time to get back into the swing of things and get things ready. But we'll worry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I will say, though, one of the things we have planned is August. Let me pull up my calendar to August. August 10th is the first Sunday that I will be back working. And we are actually going to be at a different park. I'm going to bookend my renewal leave with worship in the park. So in May or June 1st, we'll worship at Memorial Park. August 10th, we're going to worship down at Riverside Park in the amphitheater with Trinity Lutheran. We're going to join together for worship. It's going to be at a different time at 8:30. Again, this is not until August. You'll have plenty of time to hear about it. But we're going to worship together. We're going to do backpack blessing, back to school kickoff things, and then do a brunch potluck together. And so I'm super excited about that as well. I love getting to partner with other churches and have us all mix and mingle, because at the end of the day, we're all Christian. We're all part of the same mission. We're all part of the kingdom of God. And so it's really awesome when we get to do things together. And so that will be kind of my first Sunday back. So my first Sunday back in the pulpit here in our church will be August 17th. But I know that you're going to be faithful throughout the summer and be here. You're not going to wait until I come back. If anything, you're all going to be like, oh man, we really enjoyed these couple months away, hearing from other people. And so hopefully it is a good experience for everybody involved. So that's some of kind of where we're headed for the next couple months, and then looking again toward the end of the summer, which I mean, we haven't reached summer yet. I'm not trying to to rush that by any means, but I just want you to know that all of these things are in the works, being cared for, being planned for. And so I want you to feel that the church is going to be in good hands, and everything will be fine and run smoothly, whether I am sitting at this desk or not, or behind the pulpit or not. And I need that for my own sense of being able to step away. I really do believe this is God's ordained time for me to do this. And if I felt that we were in a place that wouldn't allow it, I wouldn't be able to find rest and renewal as well. So those are some of the things that are happening. If you can't tell how much I love this church and being your pastor, I hope that you know that. I love this church. I love being your pastor, and I'm excited about where we're headed and what we're up to. I really am excited about Easter season and the things that are bubbling up. You're going to hear from some different people about some passions that they have and things that we're a part of as the church, and things where we think we maybe are headed, being a church of hope, healing, and belonging. And so I can't wait to share all of that with you. So I hope to see you this coming week. I hope to see you a lot this coming week as we celebrate the most holy week in the life of the church. So until next time, God bless. Thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Going On, a video and audio podcast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota. We'd love to have you join us for worship on Sundays at 10 a.m., either in person or via our live stream, which can be found at our website, www.firstumcyankton.org, or by searching First UMC Yankton on YouTube.